What is up? This is Release Rotation. I am John W. Snyder. I'm your host. I hope you have had a great week, a good weekend, and you're ready to take on the week. Let's just get right into it. Let's start with the news of today. NFC, AFC championships. Wow. 2 games, obviously, to decide the championships for the AFC and the NFC. Both went to overtime. Although, I'm going to say right now that the Saints got hosed. If you watch that game and you watch that play, I think there was about a minute 45 left, minute 46, and the no-call pass interference by the Rams. Holy cow. First off, helmet to helmet. Second, the defensive player never turned around for the ball. Just ridiculous. I don't care. I'm not really a fan of either team. Although I do pull for the Rams living in Southern California, but I just, as a NFL fan during playoffs, it's really the most time I watch NFL football. But if I am not biased towards either team and I'm just watching it to watch a fun game, the Saints got hosed. That play should have been called. Should have been pass interference for sure. That gives the Saints the ball. First down. Just reset the downs. They most likely run out the clock, or at least get it down to under 10 and have to kick a field goal with under 10 seconds left. Instead, the Rams get the ball back, tie it up, and go to overtime and win it. So, pretty great. I mean, it was a great game, don't get me wrong, at all, but the Saints got hosed. Horrible officiating. And I felt like it was pretty good officiating up until that point. It was decent. Unreal. And then the next game, the Chiefs and the Patriots. And people are still counting out Tom Brady. Who cares how old he is? How old is he? 41, 42? And the things he's doing? Which, I get it. I saw an argument on Twitter today that, yeah, he can't run out of the pocket and throw a dart across his body. Does he have to? No. Who cares? Who cares that he can't do that? He doesn't have to. Because the Patriots are that good. They are built for the playoffs. But that was a great game. They were up by, I don't know, I saw that stat. Tom Brady was like 72-1 when leading by 14 or more at halftime. Well, now he's 73-1 because the Patriots came back and beat the Chiefs in overtime. They had to go to overtime. 2 unbelievable drives by the Patriots in the last minute and a half, and then in overtime to win it. Unbelievable. You know what else is unbelievable? James Harden. And yeah, I'm an Oklahoma City fan, and I could sit here every day, all day, wondering what if. What if KD and Westbrook and James Harden stayed in Oklahoma City? Who knows? They still could have never won a championship. They could have won 4 or 5 or 6. Who knows? We will never know. But seeing what James Harden has done in the last week in Houston is pretty unbelievable. In the last 3 games, he's had 163 points. One of those games, he had a season-high 58 points. In another game, he had 52 or something like that. And then he had 48. He didn't get that 50 in that third game. But in those 3 games, he's got a total of 163 points. James Harden, 163 points over the last 3 games. Not one of those points was an assist to him. Okay? Let me say that again. James Harden, in the last 3 games, has had 163 points. Of those 163 points, not one of those points was a pass from another player to count as an assist. Are you kidding? The next closest in a 3-game span is Chris Paul with 88 points and no assists to him in 3 games. And you know who's after Chris Paul? Chris Paul did it again in a 3-game span. 74 total points, none assisted. And then the other guy to do that is Tony Parker. 73 points, none assisted. Chris Paul and Tony Parker did it in the same year, 2009, April and March. But that's insane to me. And it's also kind of funny that it's James Harden and Chris Paul. Chris Paul did it in 2016. It was the last time it was done. And then Harden did it 3-game span without assists. He did it this last week. And when I say without, I say not being assisted, those 160 points. He had assists. He passed the ball a little bit. But all of his points came off of just him playing one-on-one ball. So is he the best one-on-one player in the NBA? Possibly. And then it's funny that Chris Paul's the other dude to do that, and they're both on the same team now. Can the Rockets win a championship with 2 guys like that? 2 guys who, if they get the ball, they're going to dribble more than twice to get to the basket? Does it matter? I don't know. But the fact that both those guys are on the same team says a lot, I think. I think James Harden is the best one-on-one player in the NBA right now. I think he wins the MVP, hands down. He should at this point in the season, even though it's not even halfway through the season. I think James Harden seals up that MVP trophy pretty easily. Insane. And yeah, he was on the Oklahoma City Thunder with Westbrook and KD at one time, which gives me knots in my stomach to think about, but then also it's like, whatever, have to move on. The only guy that's won a championship is KD, and that's because he went to a team that didn't need him. They would have won a championship anyway in Golden State, but KD wanted to get that ring, so whatever. I say that. I would still take him back in Oklahoma City if he decided to come back, play with Westbrook again. I am one of those rare fans that says, yes, come back to Oklahoma City, win a championship, whatever. I know a lot of people who would not be for that, but I am for that. The other thing, Harden, I was looking back at that trade because, they didn't agree to a contract extension over like $2 million or something stupid. But basically the only thing they really got out of that trade was Steven Adams. Because that was one of the first-round picks that was traded from Houston to Oklahoma City. It was a first-round pick, and Steven Adams was one of those picks. So we got Steven Adams out of it. So that's not a bad deal. I love Steven Adams. I was laughing. If you follow Paul George on Instagram, they were at the UFC fight last night in Barclays Center in Brooklyn, and they had a full photo, and Steven Adams is at this UFC event with Westbrook, Paul George, and he's got sliders on, like sandals, slides they call them, I guess. He's wearing those. He's not wearing closed-toed shoes. Hilarious. Love the Kiwi. Probably one of my top 3 favorite. Him, Westbrook, and Paul George are my 3 favorites on that team. Hilarious. Let's just stick with the NBA, I guess. The Lakers. Lonzo Ball sprained his ankle against Houston the other day. And he's now out 4 to 6 weeks. And I still haven't seen a timetable return for LeBron. But now they don't have a point guard. The Lakers essentially don't have a point guard. Sure, they might have one on the roster, but do they really have a point guard? No. With Rondo out, Lonzo Ball out, no point guard. LeBron should be back in the next few games, I guess, but who knows? But, wow. That is not good for the Lakers. So that'll be interesting to see what happens even after LeBron comes back. Does LeBron run point? Why not? He can. So that's a huge blow to the Lakers. And especially when they were kind of starting to figure things out, maybe a little bit without LeBron, and then with that injury, they're just going to be hurting. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I love the NBA. So petty, every bit of it. And I guess Russell Westbrook and Joel Embiid got into it a little bit with their game yesterday, and I didn't actually see everything that happened, but the reporter asked Russell if he was cool with Embiid, and he said, F no. I'm not sure how many people Westbrook is cool with, how many opposing players he's cool with. It's probably not a lot, and that's fine. Why does he have to be? Doesn't have to be. So I thought that was funny when I saw that interview. Kind of switching gears a little bit, just because that's what I want to do on this podcast. I don't want it to be all sports, but 2019, basically I'm reading a book a month. And, that's 12 books in a year, if my math is right. And right now I'm reading a new book by Seth Godin called This Is Marketing. It's a really good book. I'm a few pages in. At least I should say the few pages in I am. It's good. But I'm a big Seth Godin fan. His blog is amazing. The last book I really enjoyed of his was Lynchpin. Are You Indispensable? Is kind of the gist of that book. In your job, are you indispensable? So if you're looking for a book to read, Lynchpin or This Is Marketing, which so far it's pretty good. And then I would just want to leave you with this. This podcast comes out on really Sunday night. I'm going to finish up here and then get it out Sunday night. But it's Sunday night on the West Coast. It's almost early Monday morning in the Midwest, and then it's actually almost 1 a.m. on the East Coast Monday morning when this will come out. But I work in a job that I don't have weekends. I'm off typically a weekday and then one weekend day. Typically, that's how it works out. And that's fine. That's just the job I'm in and the world I work in, and it's actually not bad. I like having a weekday off because I can get a lot of stuff done during the week. That one weekday I'm off when everyone else has to work. So that is cool. But I do hear a phrase every so often, and we've all heard it, and we've probably all said it, and it's I hate Mondays. And I get it, but let's get down to the bare bones of why you hate Mondays. My thing is, I say, if you hate Mondays, get a new job. Especially if you hate every Monday, like you're dreading to go back to work, then you probably need to get a new job. Find a job that you love Mondays. You know that it's a new week. You can go in and do whatever you need to do to make it an awesome week. So I just want to leave you with that. If you hate Mondays, get a new job. And if you think I'm ridiculous, that's fine. But that's just my opinion. There's no reason to hate Mondays unless you hate your job. If you really think about it. So I'm going to leave you with that. Think about that. Do you need to find something else to do? Are you loving your job? Are you passionate about what you do? Talk it through, whatever. But if you hate Mondays, it's time to start looking for something new, something you're passionate about, something you love to do. Figure it out. You can do it. There's a ton of people doing that. There's a ton of people who leave their jobs not knowing what's next, but they know they have to do something and do something they're passionate about and love doing. So if that's you, make that leap or do what I do. I love my current job, but I'm doing this podcast thing at nights. I'm trying to figure it out, see what I can do because I enjoy this. I'm starting to produce it a little bit more, which is fun. Instead of just getting up here and blabbing my mouth, it's fun to produce it a little bit and write a few things out and figure that out. And I know that as I keep doing this, it's going to get better and better. But this is, people call it a side hustle, but it's my creative outlet at this point. But I love doing it. I love talking about podcasts. I love talking about people's passions and what they're excited to do and what they love to do. And this is something I always wanted to do, which if you've heard my podcast, sorry to beat a dead horse, but this is something I've wanted to do, and I love talking about sports and other things, and so this is where I'm at right now. And I do this late at night after the family's gone to bed. I write some stuff. I try to write out my thoughts, produce it a little bit, and then I'll record this late at night. People say they don't have enough time. Yeah, you do. You're a liar if you say you don't have enough time. You can always make time. If you spend time watching Netflix or you're on Instagram or Twitter or something else, then you have time. Okay? That's all. This is Release Rotation. Hope you have a great night, and I will talk to you next week. Thanks for listening.